Hey, what's up, folks? Welcome back to another episode of History Before Us. And I am in the community of Pottstown, USA. That's what we call it, Pottstown, USA, exit 23 in Huntersville, North Carolina, which is North Mecklenburg County. Now, if you follow my YouTube channel, you know that I've been in this community before and I interviewed Miss BJ Caldwell, but I am here with Miss Helen today. And we're here because there's some things that are happening in the community. There are homes that are being sold. There's a lot of redevelopment that's happening. There's a lot of gentrification that's happening, but there's some unique hidden things about this community that a lot of people may not know about that also is mirrored across other African-American communities. This specific community was founded in the 1880s by formerly enslaved humans, and a lot of the residents still live here. A lot of the descendants still live here, and I'm here with one of them. Miss Helen, how are you doing, sweetie?
I'm fine. My name is Helen Lexi Brown Rivers.
Yep.
I am descendant of the late Reverend Samuel Boyce Brown and Laura Alexander Brown. I am the niece of Lena Margaret Brown Berry and Wealthy Brown Behringer. And they used to own this little store that you see here. It was Behringer and Berry. I worked for them at 12 years old. Didn't make no money much, but I did
but
come
you were here,
after
right?
school and help out with the store.
What was all in the store?
It was, they had sodas, they had ice cream popsicles, they had cigarettes. Everybody would want cigarettes who wasn't old enough to buy them. But they had candies, sweet sneakers. They would threaten me. My friends would threaten me when they wanted something out of the store. I said, I can't do that. And so anyway, it was a lifetime of fun and love.
For sure.
Everything was built on love. My aunt's home, her and Uncle
right
Troy Behringer and Wealthy, that was their home right beside the store.
Okay.
And Aunt Lena and Charlie Berry, my uncle, they had the home across the street.
Okay.
But they thrived on business. Aunt Lena was a caretaker. She started off as a caretaker, and she was taking care of my uncle, I understand, who was my grandmother's brother, Charlie Berry. Okay. So they married. And so she was really my double aunt, my mother's aunt, aunt and my aunt.
So if we were to walk into the door, as you see right here, and we can't go in here, but buy Merita bread, and that is a brand that's still out and about right now.
Yes.
So walking in, what was the setup in there? Was it just all empty?
There was a little table right here when they sit at the table and look out the window till they have customers. They had the ice cream. They had a counter.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Counter across. I don't know if anything is in here. I haven't been in years.
I can't really.
I doubt it.
It says closed.
Yes.
So we know that it's closed. There's still some shelves that are in there, though.
Yeah, they had all that stacked with cigarettes, candy, and the Merita bread. They had milk. It was convenient for the community to walk here before we built up so much. But even so, it was still a convenient little store.
Now, what about like meats? Would it be like local farmers or they would come over here, or you just did?
My this is Hobart. We were on what we call cemetery. It's Delwood Drive now.
Right.
But my grandfather had the day they called Hog Killing Day.
Okay.
Because my grandfather, Sam Alexander, and my mother and father, my father worked, but they would raise hogs. They raised these big hogs. Okay. And they raised them for pigs up. Yeah. And we had Hog Killing Day, so everybody would come. We had a big garden. Well, we had two gardens, in fact, over there. And Aileen and them, all of them would come and help. My mother and them made liver mush and everything.
Do you still eat liver mush?
Yeah,
okay.
I like it. The kids don't know. I just cook. I cook it on. But we grew up like country. Yeah. Because we were blessed. Yeah. My mother was a homemaker. She worked out for the Hunters. She worked for the Mr. Bly, Leggett Bly's wife, Esther, who ran the library in Huntersville, the old library. And she worked for Miss Mac Bly and Rachel Bly, the Blys. She worked for Mayville and Paulville. And Miss Aileen and them did the same. They worked in homes. I'm trying to think. Aunt Bunny, I think she worked for Otten, the mayor. Well, he was the mayor one time of Huntersville.
And so this would have been more of a rural space, because like right now you all are probably hearing a lot of cars coming through because there's some industry that's down this way, but this would have been considered quote unquote the country.
Yes,
right.
It was rural
in relation to Charlotte, the city of Charlotte.
Relation to Charlotte.
Okay.
I guess the county always. Well, at first we didn't have water on my street. They may have had it over here, but later on the county, took over.
Okay.
I guess we've always really been in the county, but back then, like I say, it was rural and more country.
For sure.
More, everybody knew everybody. We don't know anybody anymore because of gentrification.
Because normally when I'm in these communities, everyone's waving because you know everybody. But now that's definitely not the case for you.
And I do still wave when people go, we have so much traffic on Central because of Vermilion. And same down here. It's not just the industry down there, not just Mr. Griffin, it is also
the homes. There's a lot of homes that are down there as well.
Vermilion comes all the way back. So
okay, got you. And as you all see, things are picking up here as it relates to traffic. So this is the store. You worked here when you were 12. You remember it was called the Behringer Berry store? Okay, and so I'm going to just show you all that real quick, and then I'm going to also introduce you all to something else in the community, because you got to have it. You got to have the entertainment too, right? So you have your sustenance here. So this is the store that Miss Helen worked at when she was 12. And we're going to walk over to here because there are a lot of things in African-American communities during segregation, because they couldn't go into certain downtown areas, etc. They had to create entertainment for themselves. We're going to walk over here, and Miss BJ and I talked about this, but not very in depth as it relates to who owned the property and things like that. But this home right here, which is unfortunately slated for demolition, that's another reason why we're out here today. And Rachel will be joining us who's with the Pottstown Heritage Group. But this used to be the Juke in the community. Let's walk in because it's quite busy. It's
too busy.
Yeah. So you can at least tell us who owned this. But you are aware that at one point it was a Juke.
Yeah, she told us. I mean, the history.
Yes.
My Uncle Charlie Berry and Lena Brown Berry owned it. They lived here, I don't know how many years. Aunt Lena, she had crippling arthritis. But anyway, she ended up in the nursing home, but I kept her in my daughter's home for 3 years. I took care of her. But after my brother Sylvester Brown has passed, he was executor of everything. So now they wanting to tear it down, but it is historical. It has been in the 40s, I believe.
Is when people will come up and shake a leg. How important do you feel like it was to have this home during that time period? You know, you're dealing with, the Depression was during that time, was in that era, and then you have Jim Crow, where you just couldn't go anywhere.
You had to go in the back doors of the restaurant.
Absolutely. And so you have a store that's over here, right? So we have the makings of a community, right? Everything that you need. And then here you have the Juke. So how important do you think it was for people to have that entertainment?
I'm sure it was. People come and dance, and they enjoyed their frustrations, because the society now of killing themselves and mental health. We may have had that, but you didn't know that, because people in that time, I'm sure they had a place to come listen to jazz music mostly back then, and enjoy themselves, and feel good about themselves.
Sure.
So nowadays it's so much out here, and people are getting stressed so bad, and so much is happening with our country or with our world of people, and it was, I'm sure, very relieving for them. Yes.
So what do you remember? What fond memories do you have about just being here
they used
as
to
a regular
have a
house?
Piano here. And,
okay. Where
just the home. We'd come here and visit on Sundays, and then we had family gatherings at my home.
Okay.
And all of us eat together. We always were pretty close knit family. the things the young people do now, I'm not. So for me, I'm 78, y'all. I'm 78.
She looks good, right?
But anyway, I don't know how to. I appreciate that I have 4 grandchildren, 2 grandsons, and 2 granddaughters. Now I have 2 little great-grands. I'm trying to mold. Yeah. One's 2. She's terrible 2, and the other one is 1.
I got you.
Naomi and TJ. They are a blessing though, because God came in and took all of my family, my siblings, and all my aunts and uncles are dead.
And a lot of those folks would have been in this home at some point in time.
So we come in and out.
Yes. And so I don't want us to go too far back because I don't know how dangerous it is back here.
Right. So full.
But can you imagine what this place was like when all those folks was in here juking and dancing?
It was small. That's all I can say.
It definitely was small.
They did it.
Yes, it was most definitely small.
But it may not have had as much furniture or something. You know, Juke John. They had a piccolo, I'm sure. Piccolo.
So did you ever hear any stories about?
I heard stories about the other house. It's torn down, the Brown's home.
So it was 2 homes that were official Jukes that they used.
That's what they had, a piccolo. I used to hear my oldest sister and them talk about it. Yeah. But I don't.
Okay. So was there a dinner table in here?
Yes, there was a little dinner table with 4 chairs, I believe. Because they didn't have any children.
Okay.
Neither.
Wait. This
was the front room.
That's the front room.
This was let me see. I'm trying to think. No, the table was in there. This was the bedroom. I'm turned around because it's been a minute. Yeah, this was the bedroom.
You see how small this is?
That was the front room. Come on, bed, and give your history, because I don't know. And I'm not avoiding you. My phone been broke off. Everybody's blessing me out because they can't get me.
I had to write my own story. Hey, Miss.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm sorry for what?
Miss Lena.
Oh, no, you don't. I'll give you something, but I can't find her picture. You got a picture?
No.
Because she said he need a picture. Yeah, that would be good.
That would be good.
I got somewhere, but
I can't find mine. This morning, I had the little, they made some bookmarkers with her picture. Because she was very instrumental. She started the...
But Gerald is such a...
He is. He may have it.
Okay.
But she did start the Sunshine Band in Huntersville. It was a group of kids that came together at our church, or did they go to all the churches? I know they came to St. Philip.
They did a little traveling.
And they had, she'd pick them up in her car. She used to drive. Uncle Charles did
65 blue Chevrolet.
Yes.
65.
Blue Chevrolet.
I got you. So let me do this real quick. Let me give you this mic.
Yes, so you can tell your part.
Miss Helen, she told us about some of the families who owned the home. And so...
now, I don't know the families.
Well, she already covered that.
Hey, Lena and Uncle Charles, you knew.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
just ain't wealthy over there. We went over there to the
she covered that, but as it relates to this being the quote-unquote one of 2, because you said that the Browns...
Yeah, they had a Juke joint over at the Brown house that they...
I didn't know about that.
We got to look up some
And that's why this is so great, because now all of it comes out. But for you, Miss BJ, and what it is that you've known for this home to be, what was it?
Well, I wrote my little story because I don't like trying to repeat it because I get it all mixed up.
Me too.
But my mom and Mr. Kit told me that this used to be a dance hall. Mm-hmm. And that was very important. And I didn't realize that it's about 100 years old. Mm-hmm. And it's real important that we keep the history alive because everything else is being sold out from under us.
Yeah. I didn't even know Perry had sold it, but that's okay.
And so when did you, so your mother would come here?
No, as a dance hall person.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, she would come here, and they would just have a good time and pretty much just dance.
Were they fish fries and all those types of things in the backyard? Or was
they may have, but
you had to have one, you had to have the other.
Yeah. Back then.
And what about the liquor? Because you can't have it.
You could probably think they had moonshine back then.
Bootleg it. You had to bootleg it.
Do y'all know who the bootleggers were?
No.
Yeah.
You might. I'm not going to snitch.
No, well, listen, let me tell you about our dad.
Go ahead, I'm big.
Our dad had been in World War II, and he was a fun type guy, a little whippersnapper type guy. He was. He could go to any town, and in less than 15 minutes could take you to the liquor houses and anything else that you wanted. And that was just the type of fella he is, and my nephew Sean is pretty much like that too. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So did you ever come into this home when
Well,
you
let
were
me
young?
tell you about me. I was a strong-willed person, and I was not going to learn anything about any religion, any religious studies, but my sister did, and my cousin Pearl did. And when she was at Livingston College, she was able to pass that religious studies stuff that they gave back in the day, because she knew all the books of the Bible. You had to learn the books of the Bible, and some other little things that were very important and crucial in the lives of teaching your children back then, survival skills, because this was during segregation.
Sure.
And you had to have survival skills in order to live. And so the more religion, well, the more you knew about religion, the better it would be, because you could start quoting scriptures to try to help maintain your cool in case you were in a serious situation.
Yeah.
And I didn't know it had 3 rooms. Now, I don't believe we came any further than the living room.
Oh, really? So y'all,
that's what I'm
y'all
thinking.
just kind of stayed.
Yes.
And she had a piano somewhere up in here.
Yeah, she did.
She had a piano. And she had a table. And there were 2 groups. She had
a sofa that would pull out into a bed too.
She had a table. And she taught them. When the little kids came, there were 2, Sunshine Band 1 and Sunshine Band 2. And as you grew older, she would teach you how to crochet and do things like that, and you would starch them, and we called them dresser scarves. Everybody who had a house that was anybody,
they had a little crocheted dolly.
And it stayed firm, upright. I called it a dresser scarf.
I said I didn't learn that. I could make some. But I did.
Well, so let me ask y'all this. Being that you know how they say, there goes the neighborhood, right? Being that it's changed, and institutions such as this, which is a historical institution, I mean, this served the community at some point in time, are now being threatened by, of course, the encroachment of
urban renewal.
Urban renewal. You have these different folks that are coming in and don't even live in the state of North Carolina that are buying up property and making these changes. What does this do for the narrative of the legacy here in Pottstown, being that this can potentially be knocked down and not here anymore?
Well, for me, it's already gentrified. And basically what my role is to write down, to document as much as I can. And what's really unique and interesting about me, I remember this stuff, but then nobody else remembers it. So I'm wondering, well, how did it get in my head and didn't get in anybody else's head? So every time I try to verify something that I think I know, it's like, well, I don't remember that. And people don't want to go back into time, but my role in life, my claim to fame, is that I want to document whatever history I know, what I can recall. It doesn't have to match yours, but it needs to come from me, so it will be left for posterity, so people can know that there were people here who wanted to thrive,
and have
not
things.
only survive, but to thrive. And in doing that, we had people like Miss Lena and her sister who started the little ice cream shop.
They had
And then my
bread.
nephew was saying it lasted up until the 70s. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
And Helen,
they didn't die.
That's where
Right. Yeah,
right?
I worked
We're
over
talking
there
about
at
across the
12.
street.
I told them they didn't pay me, but I worked.
So because
After
at 12 you were
yes,
over there working at the ice cream shop.
sometimes.
Now, were you sneaking some ice cream for yourself?
Of course, I was eating candy.
And I'm cheating.
But I can't.
She gave a hookup. I'm not a person.
I did. Margaret. I told him they used to threaten me to kiss.
I'm not one to get the hookup. I just want to pay my way.
You're going to do it the honest way.
Yeah, I'm not going to suffer any repercussions.
No repercussions.
No,
I'm suffering
no.
them, I guess.
But they,
suffering them.
and Gloria was over there too, and she gave the hookup.
She did.
I don't want the hookup.
You're going to leave it alone. And so that's what's happening. And you all being the elders in the community, how important is it in seeing like the Pottstown Heritage Group coming in and doing their best to preserve these spaces as much as possible? Does that say to you all that the work that you all put in, obviously somebody was paying attention and they're kind of picking up the mantle? What are you all's thoughts about that?
I think it's unique and wonderful because a lot of people don't realize the value of another year, of another century, in another era. Because they were just looking at Cleopatra on TV last night. They found that earthquakes and floods and everything had managed to submerge a lot of that stuff that lived during her time, that survived during her time, and now they're trying to excavate it. Well, my goal is so that they don't have to go looking too far to try and find some information about Pottstown.
Have it readily available.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm very proud of them doing that because at first I told my nephew to sell it since his father was over it, but then I thought about it. We're losing all the just the historical things that we knew about and grew up with. Like I told you, the age now, I can't get into some of them younger people. I'm sorry to this. But I'm proud that they are taking the initiative, and I'm proud that I appreciate BJ. I call her my historian because she knows a lot, and she keeps pressing forward for it. Now my daughter's on the town board, so I don't get to the meetings like I should, but BJ will keep me up. If Toya don't, she can't say but so much, I guess, sometimes. But I try to keep up with things in the community, and basically we're losing the history.
Yeah. If today is the last day that you all set eyes on this building, how different is it going to feel when you're riding by?
It's going to make me feel like somebody needs their butt kicked.
Yes, it'll be empty because I always look over here. I say, "Oh, it's."
And the reason being, now this was the main.
How are you?
This was the main drag.
I gotta grab your mic.
Okay. Yes, that's right. I ain't got time.
Okay, go ahead.
This was the main drag, and for someone to be able to purchase this property and put a 2-story building here, that sets the precedence that we can be bought.
Yes.
We can be bought, and so in a new century, we're 25 years into a new century, so this happens. 100 years from now, somebody else will be standing here trying to capture what was here, but after we tore this down, but life goes on. It's called the circle of life, and unfortunately, some people are better at protecting their history and heritage and culture than others because they don't see the value of it. But the few of us who do, we really need to just take hold and do as much as we can, as quick as we can, to capture what's here so people can see. We can write our own books so that they can see that we were trying.
Yeah.
And we just didn't have enough resources to prevent the removal of our ancestors' belongings. So.
Yeah. Well, Miss BJ, you and I, we hang out a lot and go around to these little historical sites, and I'm always bugging you.
That's all right. That's
I'm always bugging you, but you are the official historian here in Pottstown, along with a couple of other folks, and it's just always a blessing to hang out with you. And it was last year in October when you and I did.
Oh, was it October?
Yes, when you made your YouTube debut. With history before us, it's coming pretty good.
Okay.
People know you, so you get approached in these streets. So, but it was almost a year ago today, and so here we are back in the same space, and we talked about this building a little bit, but now obviously today was a little bit more in depth, and it's on the edge of potentially being, knocked down. As you mentioned, it was scheduled to be knocked down today, but we're able to be out here, and so yeah. This is it, 13817 Holbrook.
That's what I'm calling it, 13817 Holbrook.
13817 Holbrook, and this would have been the Juke.
In the 20s, 30s, 40s?
In the 20s, 30s, and 40s.
That was a Juke joint.
All right. So I have Rachel with the Pottstown Heritage Group that's joining us, and you heard some of the testimony of 2 individuals who have a connection to the site, but the Pottstown Heritage Group, they're just doing great work in the community as it relates to preservation, as it relates to upfitting and supporting and providing resources for longstanding individuals in the community who are descendants of those folks who were formerly enslaved who started this community. And so, Rachel, we are here at the Sharp House, is what it was called at one point in time, which also served as a juke joint. And the work that you all have been doing over the years, that you've been one of the leaders at the Pottstown Heritage Group, seeing this in a space to where it was supposed to be demolished today, like what does this mean for you all as the Heritage Group?
It really speaks to preservation and really how important it is to save these. They may not be deemed historic, but historic and have a lot of value to the residents in the community. Again, I moved here 13 years ago. This was the first thing that I noticed. And the reason it really stuck out to me is because being born and raised in Pittsburgh and not far from where my mother grew up, called Ligonier, they had a lot of log cabins up there. So this kind of reminded me of my childhood of always seeing that log cabin and how it was long standing. And it spoke to the era and time within that community. And so that's really what this house kind of means to me, and will surely be missed if it becomes demoed. The bigger importance is for our residents, for anybody to really understand how you can preserve a house like this, right? So working with the owner, the current owner of the house, and saying, hey, we noticed that the house has been vacant. What do you want to do with it? Do you want to sell it? We may have some partners and investors that are willing to buy it to preserve it, right? You may have somebody who works in the preservation space on a larger scale that has access to funds, grants, and able to bring that back, that restoration back to life, and then again, possibly get it deemed historic, which in my understanding, getting it deemed historic, yes, you may not be able to change a lot about the house, but it protects the house from being demoed in the future and able to carry long-storm sustainability in that housing market. I mean, look at this house. I mean, it's 3 rooms, a bathroom, a kitchen, a small little hallway, but this would be perfect for somebody who had to work in Huntersville or in Charlotte that could have been really sustainable for the income that they could have at this time to be able to still live here and still keep the house.
Yeah. And I know that, you know, one of the challenges, of course, is the fact that when you have individuals who may not live here anymore, they may not be as vested in the community or just the story of the house anymore as well. You know, I talked with Miss Helen and Miss BJ, of course, and so this was a Juke. As tiny as this is the bedroom, y'all. We are standing in the bedroom right now, and that's the kitchen over there, and there's the bathroom back there. We're in our 40s now, but in your 20s, do you think you would have came up here and started juking?
Oh, I definitely would. One thing that's big in the North is a house party. So it kind of reminds me of just going to a house party.
Yeah, you know, we talked about just during the time of Jim Crow, like Black folks didn't have the opportunities to go to certain places and enjoy themselves, and being here, that this was a little bit further out. Of course, in Center Charlotte, then, you know, this served as a source of entertainment as well as protection from the dangers that was happening during Jim Crow, you know, with segregation laws and things like that. And so this space is definitely monumental with all the hundreds of folks that have been in here throughout the years, relating and releasing and partying, as well as I'm sure some very thoughtful conversations, and family, of course, was in this space as well. So hopefully there can be something done in the 12th hour to keep it up and running, but it may not. And so that's why you all do what you do, and I do what I do to preserve these stories and to tell these stories. And hopefully someone who may have come here, what have you, they can provide some good memories and understand the importance of this space here in Huntersville. So any last words?
I'll just speak to a little bit of what Augustine had said as he moved out. You know, another part of preservation is when you look at the woods, you look at the bones of this house, you can't find this real type of wood anymore. It could be even taking that wood and making a bench, multiple benches in the community, that it brings back that history and that tie. You could say, hey, this came from that house. And even though the house isn't still here, the memory's still here and things like that. So that's a good way to preserve as well.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. Did you see those things that be kind, be honest?
Yeah, I did.